Welcome everyone. Let's go on and a quick update on what we did in the last session. We covered Google Docs and Google Slides, and the agenda for today is Google Sheets and Google Forms. I have my wonderful co-host today here, Geetika ma'am. I will be taking you through Google Sheets and she will be taking over Google Forms once we reach that point, right? Feel free to put your questions in the chat window as we are going through the session. Let's not disturb the flow of the session. Please keep putting your questions in the chat window and we'll make sure to answer as many as we can. And if you're not able to cover and, kind of take all questions today within the meet, we will make sure that we answer them in the classroom where you have joined, where you can put in your questions as well. Great, let's begin with Google Sheets. And one of my favorite tools, of course, Google Sheets is the spreadsheet tool from Google Workspace, free as usual. It's a web-based editor, which you can also download and kind of work in the offline mode. We have learned how to do that with Docs. Similar thing works with our sheets as well. We can add information, we can edit it, collaborate on the same sheet, comment on the sheet across organizations and within the organization as well. That's the beauty here of this online web-based editor, where we can all collaboratively work. And you will be surprised to know for a lot of, higher ed colleges, when we do sessions and we do collaborative Google Sheets working on together, it's amazing for them to see, oh, how quickly you're putting the, text or your numbers in your sheets and it quickly reflects. It's that quick, right? Although the session timings today may not allow us to do a collaborative session, but we will be showcasing all these power to you in real time. So just hang on and just stay tight on your seats. Wonderful. Lot of beautiful features are there, which we'll be talking about today and which you should be ready with your hands on, because a lot of questions are asked around these features in your level 1 exam. Of course, how do you organize data? How do you sort the data? How do you build in formulas? How can you measure student progress? How can you make charts and visualize results quickly? And of course, get inspired by alternative learning methods as well. So Sheets also is available for mobile phones. You can download it as an app in your Android or other phones as well. Now, where to find Google Sheets? We've been talking about it from the last 2 sessions. How do we start? Drive or Docs? And today, same thing. There are 3 ways. One is, of course, if you're in your Drive, you can simply click on the plus sign and say Google Sheets. If you are in your mail or in any other app, you can click on the waffle and look for Google Sheets. And of course, directly from the Omni box, just type sheets.google.com and it will take you to the dashboard or the opening dashboard of Google Sheets. So those are the 3 ways that you can quickly open your Google Sheets. What are the skills to master? As I was mentioning, for your exam purpose and these sessions, remember, we are not teaching you about how to use these tools. You already are power users of these tools. You have been using it. You are on the pro licenses and you've been using it beautifully in your institutes. So no need for us to guide you on how to use the tool, but we are just focusing on the key areas or the key skills that are mandatory to master to pass the GCE level 1, right? So of course, as I mentioned before, how to sort, how to calculate data. That means how to use the formulas, different formulas. How do you use charts to analyze data? How do you protect data in a sheet? How to filter data in a sheet? how to present directly to a Google Meet like I am doing right now. So we can have that feature as well explored today, and much more as we go along, right? So let's quickly jump in, and we will come to the skill checklist at a little later point. Before that, I am going to take you to an actual sheet for practice, and we will quickly look at the different features that we just talked about, right? So let's first start with formatting. You can see that I have a sheet in front of me which has different names of students. There is a class quiz. Let's say you name it assignment 1, more useful for our higher ed faculty here today. Assignment 2. So editing is as easy. I'm just quickly highlighting the cell and just putting in the text that I want is relevant, right? And then I want the total. So we'll be learning how to do that. And there are different ways to do that as well. And also, if you see on the top, from here, you will absolutely know whether this document is right now saved to your Google Drive online or not. So if you see the cloud and the tick in it, that means your document is being simultaneously saved in the cloud. And that's the beauty here. And of course, if you see this button, this shows that you can add it directly to your drive. And the best part of it, which I feel is very, very relevant, is of course the star feature, which I use very often to probably mark the documents that I'm currently working on so that I can easily find them in my drive. So that's the beauty. And how do we make copies of it? So if you can see on the top, I have another educator right now editing this file. So I don't want to, kind of hamper her work. She's in a parallel session taking that. So I'll quickly take you, how do I make a copy? So if you click on file, I can directly click on make a copy, and I can give it a name. So I can say GCE level 1 group 2 sheet. Okay. And I will say make a copy. And as soon as I do
increase the font size.
Sure, I'll do that. And you can see as soon as I do that, it loads a separate copy for me in the different tab. And I am now sharing that tab with you. As requested, let's quickly increase the font a bit. Is that fine enough? I want the data also to be visible. So just wanted to put that in view. Okay. So there are different options, as you can see. I've just shown you the make a copy. You can import data from other sheets directly into your Google Sheet. You can share this. For that, you can either click on share here, or you can click on the share button right on the top. And of course, you can share it with other people. So let me quickly share this with Geetika ma'am. And in case I want her to be, notified, that means a mail will be sent to her. I can tick this box. If I don't want that, I can keep this unchecked, but I want to do that. So let's quickly do that. And I want to give her editor rights or viewer or commenter, depending upon whatever the need is. Right now, I'm giving her editor rights, and you can also send her a link. I'm not using that right now, but let's quickly say, here is the sample sheet we are currently working on, and say send. And you will see Geetika ma'am will get a mail, and you see access updated. Now, if I click on share, you will see I am the owner and Geetika ma'am is the editor. And you can quickly see that I can change these rights anytime. And you also were asking how to transfer ownership. So So I can transfer ownership to her as well, or I can remove access completely from simply clicking on this drop down box, right? That's how easy it is. And if you see, you have the data in front of you, and there is a wonderful feature here which Gemini has enabled for us, which says analyze this data. So let's say you don't have an inkling as to what all you should be talking about, or what all analysis you should be taking in this particular sheet. What all can you do with this data that you have on your hands? You can use Gemini to summarize the table, to analyze the data, or whatever you feel like. We'll come to that a little later. For now, I'm quickly removing that, and I'm removing the suggestions as well. Coming back, if I want to, and if you see here, Geetika ma'am has joined my sheet. You can see that she is right now available on this particular tab, and she can see the changes in real time or make some changes as well simultaneously. So first, let's quickly do some formulas here. I am going to add total. So I'm going to do one simple thing. There are different ways of doing that, but let's do the most simplest one. I'm just highlighting the four cells that I want to total, and then I will quickly click on functions, or if you see on the bottom, it's already showing you that the sum is 241. And if I just simply click on this, I can see what other things that I can do, which other formulas I can utilize with this same data. I can create an average, I can find the minimum of marks, I can find the maximum, I can count the numbers, I can count only numbers, or if there are some blank cells and I want to eliminate that, I can do all of that, and we will come to that in a minute. But for let's go with sum, and I'm going to quickly put that the other way of telling you. Sum, you see the formula has come in, and now I will quickly do this. And once I'm ready, sorry, and once I am ready, let's do that once again. My bad. Sorry for that. Let's say sum, and I am selecting the cells. Once I'm done with that, you see it's showing me the sum, and I'm simply pressing enter. The beauty, see the beauty. It's telling you, do you want to autofill? I am suggesting you should add the same formula to the entire column. So half of my work is saved. I simply click on this. You can either press Control plus Enter, or you can just click on the tick, and the entire sum is shown to you here. That's the beauty here, right? I will take a pause. If there are any questions, Geetika ma'am, please do let me know from the things that we have covered till now.
Ma'am, there are no questions till now.
Wonderful. Let's move on. In that case, next thing that we are going to learn is, of course, other functions. So we just learned about sum, and let's see once again, I'm repeating. If you click on this, go to sum, either you type in the cells, okay? So I can say B, this is B2, right? So I'm saying B2 colon because it's a range. So I have to mention it as a range, B2 to what? E2, great. And I will press enter. You can see same thing. It's telling me, do you want to autofill? I said yes. And the entire data is done. Similarly, let's quickly do the average. And again, I'm going to click on functions, average, and similar thing. I'm going to put in B2 to E2, and I'm putting it in small case just to show you it does not matter what are you putting in. Are you putting it in caps or small? Does not matter at all. And yes, I want autofill. Here we go. At the click of a button, my average is ready. Similarly, min, I can click on function once again, choose minimum, And again, same, I can select the cells I want, and I'm using shift for selecting the cells. So it's that easy, right? Now let's learn about a different formula here. There are three counts, and why you should know the difference between them, it's very important. There is one count, simple count, which will count the numbers in your range. Then there is count A, which will count, and I want to hear it in the chat window very quickly. If everyone can put in their answers, what according to you is count A and what according to you is count if. Let's quickly hear it in the chat window. Come on, educators. Let's see the energy in the room.
So somebody has written count all.
Okay, wonderful. That's amazing. As I said, count counts only the numbers. Count A will count all, irrespective.
Count with conditions also.
Yes, absolutely. So we have wonderful people here, right? We have amazing educators. They all know it all. And that's what we said at the beginning of the session. You already know all of this. It's a quick revision for you so that you are prepared for your exam. Very rightly said, count simply counts the numbers. Count A will count all, right? And count if can be used if you want to give, let's say, a condition. So let's try count if, and I will quickly click on equal to. And this is the other way now that I'm showing how you can use or self-type a function rather than using it from the shortcut. Okay, so let's say count if. And if you see, it tells you a conditional count across a range. So if you want any suggestions, take it, but I don't want it. I'm simply putting, let's say I want B2 to E2, and I want number greater than, let's say, 40. And let's press enter. It's showing error. Can you somebody tell me why this error is coming? I put in the right things. I said there is a count if, there is a range, and there is a greater than 40. Why there is an error? Let's hear it in the chat window, educators. Quickly, why is there an error? You can see the formula right up in the Omni box, in the search bar. Equal to is already there, ma'am. You're missing some very vital thing. Let's see. Right. Yes, Richa ma'am. Round of applause for you. You have got it right. So the condition has to be in quotes. And let's do that. And as soon as I fix it, you see all the calculations are completed. And let's verify it quickly. So in this row, if you see, there are three numbers that are greater than 40, and that's why it's showing me 3. In this row, there are all 4 numbers are greater than 40, and that's why it's showing 4. So very quickly, you can do, the analysis, and you can get to know how many students. So you always have to, check for the CGPA. You have to check how many people have achieved a cumulative grade above a particular figure, or how many people have achieved marks above 90, let's say, to get the grades right. So all that can be done with count if. And that's the beauty here. Let's move on to the next feature. And we've already done if, but to show you a nested if, we have a wonderful example here. So let's say the grading is done on the basis of the score, and this is the category. So if a student achieves between 95 to 100, he gets grade A or A plus. All institutes will have different gradings, in their ecosystem. So please be mindful of that, and you can create this table according to the criteria that you follow. And there can be as many scores and as many grades as you want. So there will be as many nested if for this case. So if you see here, we have done V2 less than 64. That means if the number is less than 64, the student will get F grade. Otherwise, it will be a D, otherwise a C, otherwise a B, and otherwise A. So just remember, last value will never have a if condition. Whenever you're using a nested if, it will always be that the last value will just be the automatic value that should appear when none of these conditions are met. And you can see the result is all here. You can see the formula as well. I am going to quickly highlight that formula for you, and I've made the font a little bigger so that you can quickly see that it goes out of range. Yes, there you go. That's the formula for you, starting with F, T, C, B, and last, as I said, there will be no if. So this is the nested if. As many brackets that open up, as many brackets should close. So that's the whole idea here. Great. That's all about the if, nested if function. Let's move on to the next part, which is my favorite again, which is charts. And of course, I'm sure all educators love seeing visualizations and not data like this in columns and rows. So how do we create charts? Very quickly, you can go to insert, and first let's highlight where I want. Go to insert, say chart, and here it automatically knows which is the chart best for your use case. So it has analyzed the data according to its understanding. So AI is at play here. It chooses the data, it chooses the type of chart that is valid for you, and it presents that data automatically. Let's say you do not like this, you can always customize and you can choose the chart type. You can see there are line charts, scatter chart, histogram, whatever you like, right? So you can choose whichever is more suitable for you. Column charts, so let's choose stacked column, and that's how you can just customize your chart if you do not like what AI has suggested for you, right? Again, there are a lot of customization features available here. You can change the range. So let's say you just want to do for one column and not for the entire data. You can do that as well. And notice we did not choose the data here. It automatically found out what is the data that I want to analyze. That's the beauty of AI in play in Google Sheets right here in front of you, educators. So you can also have x-axis change in case you want some other label, or in case you want to remove this label, you can do that as well, right? So you can see all of this. You can switch rows and columns. You can use row 1 as headers in case you want. Use column A as labels in case you want. All this is ticked by default if you don't want it. So you can see these are the labels. If I just remove that, you will see this will be removed, right? So that's what it means. And right now I'm keeping it because it looks more beautiful. I want the names and I want the labels as well, right? So that's the quick chart. And once it is inserted, you can place it anywhere, select it, and just drag it wherever you want. You can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do, right? So let's place it right here and here. That's the best place, I think. So you can do this as well, right? Another thing that I want to quickly highlight is, let's go back to the feature here, which is the wonderful feature, move to own sheet. Let's say you do not want the chart to interfere with your data. If you don't want that and you want the chart to be published on a different sheet, just click on move to own sheet and you will see there is a separate sheet created, and the entire chart has been populated right here for you to analyze and play around with. You can download this chart, you can publish this chart, you can still edit it if you want, you can delete it if you don't like it, you can copy it and take it to some other sheet or some other place that you want to work with it. All that feature is right available here from your Google Sheets. And you can see as soon as I said, move it to another sheet, it has taken the data to its own sheet and has removed it from here. So that's the beauty here. Let's quickly look at one more feature. And I'm going to, for that, again, insert a chart. And let's say it should be a column chart, which it already is, right? And I don't want any stacking. And let's go to customize. Now in the customize, I've already talked about legend. I've already talked about access title. So you can put the title on the top if you want. Let's quickly do that. And I'm going to say text here, analysis of assignments, since we have named the columns as assignments. So we can quickly, okay. And I can also change the font. So let's keep it sans serif. And I want the size to be 16, or maybe it is too smaller. Let's keep it 30. Yeah, I like that. And then if I want any color, let's pick up red. Beautiful. And I want it right in the center. Wonderful. So that's how I can customize the title. I can put a title and do different features with it. Let's now go to series, and I'm going to go down, and you can see we have a wonderful feature here called trend line. Let's quickly use this, and you can see, of course, this is too much data, but I'm just demonstrating it for quick understanding. You can see I can just at the click of a button use trend lines to see what is the trend of the different assessments that we have taken. Test 1 has its own trend line, test 2 has its own, test 3 has its own, and test 4 has its own. How do you know that? You know that from the color legend right on top, and you can see the different trend lines. So it tells you as an educator whether your students have mastered this topic. If it's an upward trend, good for you. If it's a downward trend, probably a little worry. And that's the beauty here. So I will quickly repeat these steps because normally people find it a little difficult. So once I am in the chart, I can right click and I can go to series, or I can go to whatever. I can do the grid lines and other areas also, right? I can resize the chart, whatever you want to do, right? Feel free, just right click and do anything that you want with it. You want to change the horizontal axis, you want to change the vertical axis, whatever. Go ahead and play around with this and make some interesting charts. And where did we come from? So let's quickly go to that as well. Let's say I want to quickly use another chart, and this time it's a line chart that I want. Okay. And I want the data range. So you can see if you have utilized the earlier data already, it will tell you what is the range that you are now looking at. Okay, so you can choose any one of the ones which you think is relevant. And from here, if you go to customize, so the customize feature will only become available once your data is there, once your chart is done. Okay, so you can notice that as well. Let me delete this and quickly come back here. Any questions? Geetika ma'am, are there any questions in the chat window?
No, ma'am, there are no questions right now.
Wonderful. Let's now quickly go into the protect sheet. And that's a very, very important feature. Let's hear it in the chat window, educators, if you know what product sheet is used for. Let's hear it quickly in the chat window. And we have another 5-7 minutes. Let's quickly see. How many of you know what is protect sheets all about? I'm waiting. Any answers?
Protect the certain columns, they are saying,
Wonderful.
and protect access from specific users.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Just to demonstrate the trend line feature once again. Wonderful. Let's go back to the sheet and let's go to the chart. And if you see here, I will go to insert chart and automatically, let's see, it will give me create chart for this data. That's the Gemini feature at play. Also show you how you can access that. You can see here on top, Ask Gemini. So you will be able to create charts for this data or any other prompts that you want to put in. Okay. And let me quickly, I think it's giving some problem. Let me just quickly select the data. Wonderful. And insert chart. Here the chart is. And just to repeat, customize, go to series, scroll down a bit, and you will see the trend line. Just click on that, and you will have the trend lines with you. I hope whoever wanted that again has been able to follow this. I just added the chart. Remember, for trend line, you have to have a chart before. Okay, so there has to be either a line chart, a column chart, or scatter chart for you to create that trend line, right? And you can always change the, if it's an exponentiation that you want to see instead of the linear trend line, you can do that as well. In case you want to do some analysis around, and a lot of educators would be writing research papers for mathematics or science or around these topics, and you will want to analyze some, equations. You can use polynomial in that case. So all these features are available. Feel free to, kind of play around with linear, exponential, polynomial, logarithmic, power series. All of their options are available here, right? Great. Let's quickly now jump into protect sheet. And in case, let's go to the formatting sheet. And let's say, okay, I think we've covered all of this. Yes, conditional formatting is another thing that I would want you to play around with. Let's say you want to conditionally format the cells here, and you want everything that has greater than 40 number, you want that to be in green and the others to be red. You can use this format conditional formatting feature. This is an amazing, amazing feature, and you must try it out. Another thing that you will learn in your L2 is your smart chips, with which you can refer to people and allocate tasks in a collaborative environment right here from your sheets. So we will absolutely cover that in the level 2 as well. In case you're more interested, you can see some YouTube videos. We'll share that as well, right? Of course, we have done a lot of these things today. Data validation is another thing that you should be absolutely, absolutely clear about.
Ma'am, somebody is asking about the protect sheet feature. So can you just explain about the protect sheet feature? How do we log that particular sheet?
Absolutely. I'm just demonstrating that on the screen. If you can see under data,
Font size.
yes. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me first increase the font size a bit. Yes.
Yes.
Then let's quickly go to data and protect sheets and ranges. Okay. Now you can specify whether you want to protect the entire sheet or you want to protect a particular column or let's say a range. Okay. So I'm going to quickly say add a sheet or range, and I will quickly see and quickly drag this. So let's say I want to only specify that I don't want anybody to edit this range. Okay. So you can specify, or in case you want a particular, let's say, entire range, you can specify the range as well. Let's quickly click on this, select data range, and I can drag my data and it will automatically give you the formula itself. You don't need to remember it. If you can remember, nothing like it. It's simple. It's formatting and then exclamation mark and then the range name. If you can remember, perfect. If you can't, it can just say select range. Click on this button called select data range and you can select the range and say okay. And let's now do set permissions. Okay. Restrict who can edit this range. So I can put only me. I can put custom. That means I can give custom rights to people. So I can give Geetika ma'am the right to edit this along with me and show a warning when editing this range. So let's say I don't want to give editing permission to anybody. I can display a warning when anybody tries to edit. Okay, so both the features are available and you can play around and do this in your sheets. Okay, I hope all of this is clear and we are at 6:15. We would quickly want to move into the other topic. So let me stop sharing and come back to our skill sheet and start sharing that. Do a quick recap as to what all we have covered. Wonderful. Let's see this. Okay. Create a Google Sheet. All of us know how to do that. Share a Google Sheet. We already talked about it. Spreadsheet vocabulary. So you should know what is a cell, what is a range, what is a column, and all the other things. How do you format cells? We talked about that. How do we sort text or dates or numbers? How do we organize data collected in a Google Sheet? We will shortly see that also when we collect data using a form, how can we organize it and what analysis can we do that? How do we use formulas like sum, average, unique, count, and so many others? How do we analyze the data with charts? How do you use trend lines? How do you move charts to their own sheets? Adding charts from sheets to sites, docs, and slides. I showed you publish sheet, publish chart. So you can publish it and you can put it anywhere in your sites, in your docs or your slides, copy it as an image or as a live chart, which will get updated as soon as you change the data, right? How do you publish results? Already talked about it. How do we protect sheets and ranges? And how do we use Google Sheets for grade books, project plans, class rosters, or so many other use cases? Wonderful. We have covered it right in time. And now I would like to hand it over to our wonderful, wonderful Geetika ma'am. We have done.
And we have to do some questions also,
Yes,
MCQs. Yeah.
that quickly. Yes. Charts created in Google Sheets can be added to a Google site. True or false? Quickly, let's do that.
They're writing true. T. Yeah.
Wonderful. So they have been very, 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 very active listeners. Which chart can we use to show trends over time? Come on. Bar chart, pie chart, scatter plot, or line chart?
D. They are saying line chart. Some of them are writing C, scatter plot.
Very good. Mrs. Michaud wants to share the results with another teacher, but not allow the teacher to alter the data. Which of these choices allow this? Protected range, sheet, slide, menu. Select
Protect sheet.
all.
We are writing B, protected sheet.
So this is select all that apply. So as I just told you, it can be a range or a protected sheet. So both are correct answers. Please note this. Some important facts about sheets. You have 5 million cells. There are 40,000 new rows that you can add at a time. The maximum number of columns are 18,278. The number of tabs or sheets that you can have per workbook is 200. And maximum string length that you can put in a cell is 50,000 characters. With this, handing over to Geetika ma'am. Geetika ma'am, the stage is all yours. Do you
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. I'll start sharing the.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we are starting with the Google form. Now, Google form, everyone knows that the main purpose why we create the Google forms, the main thing is basically when we are getting the data of any kind of a survey, when we have to collect the data from the people, or nowadays when we are collecting the feedback related to any session. It can be used as a formative quiz in our classrooms also. It can be used for a quick check of the understanding of any particular topic in a class, or just to collect any kind of an anonymous feedback. So main three purposes are there. One is for collecting the group data when we have to collect the data. Second, for the feedback or the quizzes. And third one is when we are using it for our formative assessments as well. Now, all these things I will be demonstrating, and then we'll come back to the skill checklist. So you will learn you will be mastering all these skills in the Google form. So let's get started with the Google form itself. I'll present something else now, the demo form which I have. Yes. I hope my demo form is visible to everyone. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yes. So I have created this demo form, and I'll be showing you how we develop it further. So this is the interface of the Google form. This is how it looks like. This is the main part where you need to work. It has questions, responses, and settings. So in the questions part, we put up the questions, what all things we need to ask, and different variety of sections we have, which we will be doing. And on my right hand side, you can see how we can customize it, how we can preview it, how we can undo and redo, and then how do we send it. And we will be making some changes also. So let's start customizing this Google form. So you can customize it. You can, first of all, the very first thing which you have is, again, we start with the font and the style. So let's see if I want lobster, and I want this to be, 20. And then I want the rest of it same. If I want to select any kind of a image, let's say we are creating just for any kind of illustrations. Let's say I select, okay, I'm liking this one. Since all of you will be Google certified educators, so I want to select this one. Yeah, so these are your certifications. So, and the color theme I want is this. So this is how we are customizing the background and the theme. And I have selected the font size over here as, okay, this is not going. Yes. Okay, so this is how we are selecting the theme. I hope my form is visible to all. Yes. So this is how I have done the setting. I will show you the settings again, how we have done the changes. I selected this palette. So this is the palette which is there for customizing the theme. So anytime you're making the form for a birthday party, or you're making it for your class, or you're making it for any lecture, or you want to take it as a feedback for your sessions. So you're making the theme as per your need. So let's get started with the questions part. The very first thing is you give the name. I have given the name of to the form as demo form. Now this form requires a description. Let's say I have an upcoming event on Independence Day. So I write, since we deal with the students, so we write something related to them. Dear students, please fill up the form for Independence Day event. So this is an event which is coming up, and I am asking them to fill up the form for this. And now if I want to make any changes, whether I want to, yes, ma'am.
Kritika ma'am, I think so you're using the old format of the form.
Okay.
This format is, you can switch to any other account. Maybe for your this particular account, it is showing old format.
So shall I switch to the
Now
demo?
we have that publish wala format.
Okay. So I can switch to the demo GCE.
You do one thing, you carry on with this form only, but towards the end, show the new interface of the form.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Sure. Okay. So then I have this option of changing the format and making the changes bold, underline, and even if I want to insert any kind of a link into this, I can do that and then indent it further. So let's start with the questions. The first question, obviously, whenever we are sharing the form with any person, we ask them for the name. So I have name of the participant. So the moment I say name of the participant, the question choice which is coming is short answer. The participant has to give their name over here in the short answer text. And this has to be, there's a radio button. Beneath every question, you will find a radio button. This radio button basically is for the required question. There are certain questions when we are creating the form. So it is a mandate for the person who is taking this form. It is required to answer. So we require the name. We are collecting the data. So this is basically required. So what do we do is we press the radio button to the right hand side. And that is how it becomes mandatory for the participant to write their name. Otherwise, the entry will not be taken. Then we have these three dots. We can give the description, response validation is there, or we can make a duplicate question of this, or we can delete this question. These options are coming. Now, I have added some images just to showcase how we are adding the images also. So let's start with this. Like I added this image. I'll show you how I added this. Let me go to this question and then show you. Let's say I go to another one. Okay. Let me add another one. Now in this, I want to add an image. Now again, in the addition of the image, inserting of the image, I can upload it from my system. I can use webcam, by URL, photos, the Google Photos which I have, or Google Drive or Google Images. And the first option which I would like to use is browse. Let's browse the images. If I have any image on my desktop, no. I can take it from Google Images. Let's take image of a national flag. Let's take this image and I insert it. And now I put up a question related to the national flag. Now on the right hand side, please see this. This icon gives me the option to try out various questions. Now, what are the questions which I can actually try out? So the first one which I have is short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down, file upload, linear scale, rating, and
Madam, it
multi.
seems that the screen is not visible. I think so.
It is
I
not
can see the
visible.
screen.
Let
It is
me.
visible. It is visible.
I'll increase the font size.
Visible, ma'am.
It is visible. I'll increase
Clearly
the font.
visible, Geetika ma'am. You can go
Yes.
ahead.
Yeah. Now I think it is more visible. So on my right hand side, you can see these options are there. Short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down, file upload, linear scale, rating, multiple choice. And the other one that I have is this one. This one is a grid. The grid is also there.
And while Kritika ma'am is showing you
Tick
the
box
grid
grid.
and all, I want to quickly tell you a use case on when will you use the file, right? So let's say you want to collect everyone's CVs when the placement season is on in the institutes. You want all the students to submit their CVs, updated CVs. That's a very good use case for file upload. They can, you can collect all their CVs by floating a single form with a file upload feature there. Over to you, Geetika ma'am.
Yes. So that was for the file update, and even if the child has done any kind of a project and you want them to submit their work, in that case also we can use this. So let's do practice for each type of. Let's say I want to ask about.
Humble request to everyone, kindly mute yourselves, please.
Please mention
Thank you.
your class, or like I want the child to mention their class. Like I have this event coming up and I want each and every child to mention their class to me. Now in this I have two options. First option can be that I give it open to the everybody, they write, whether they write it in numeral or they write it in number, and then I keep sorting the Google sheet. But the second option will be if I give it to them in a drop down menu, and that will be uniform. So let's say I give it in a drop down menu. Option one is going to be, let's say this is for class 6th, and then I add class 7th, and let's say it is only available for like classes 6 to 8. So class 8. So I have actually specified. Now there will be no change in the format. So the person will, when this form goes to my students, then there will be a radio button and the child will be clicking the classes as per their class. And there is going to be uniformity, and it will be easier for me to organize my Google Sheet as well as per the options given. Now they have variety of sections also. So in this case also, I can write about section. Now in section, it is again, I can put the options, I can put the check boxes also. So let's see how do the check boxes work. Let's say I put A, add all. So it is already giving me the options A, B, C, D. See how AI has helped me immediately. So I have sections till A, B, C, D, that is 4 sections are there. So immediately these check boxes will come in front of the child, and then they will be specifying their class and they will be specifying their section. Now for me, it is mandatory that the child should answer all these questions. So what will I do? I will go to the radio button and I will slide it to the right hand side. So it becomes a required field. The child will not be able to submit the form unless and until he doesn't give me these entries. Similarly here, I will push the radio button to my right hand side. Before pushing the form further, I'm specifying it to them that these are the mandatory conditions which they have to satisfy. Let's do something else. Now let's say that I invite Gurpreet ma'am to my home, and I want to know what would be her choices, what kind of food item she would like to take, and there are some other group of friends I have invited. So for that, I create a Google form before the party and I ask them to come over and I float this form to them. So in this, I have the option of tick box grid or the multiple choice grid. Let's do this. So in the first category, I specify the food items. let's say vegetarian. And I give them the columns. In the columns, I give them the options that in vegetarian, what would they like to have? The options which will be there. Like they can have mixed veg, dal, raita, whatever I want to feed in. And I have the option of non-vegetarian. And then I keep adding all the items into this. Let's have biryani here. And I can add that the
hungry.
people can have, yes.
I said, I hope the educators have not started feeling hungry after seeing this menu.
Yeah, and then I have one more row. I can ask for the starters also. I can keep adding as many rows as possible. So what happens is this kind of a form gives you an option. And these forms are generally used when you're traveling to, a very good properties, and they hand it over to you and they ask you for your, cuisine choices, whether you are a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian and what exactly you want to have. So multiple choice grid is basically used in these type of situations. So the stick box grid is, again, this can be used for making your quiz. So multiple choices which we have, so we can click on this and we can make it in our classrooms. Now let's start with another one. I'll give you one more option and then we'll move to the settings. We can also have linear scale. So for example, I ask you that you have to suppose give us your feedback on the workshop. So feedback on the workshop on a scale of 1 to 5. So where you have to say 1 is going to be very bad and 5 is going to be excellent. So this is how you prepare the question, which is there on the linear scale, and you collect the feedback from the audience. Now let's go to the preview. Now this preview button, which you can see over here, this is the eye which is made over here. Let's see this, how it looks like. Although this is a rough demo that I have made, but this is going to look like this. I've given the variety of questions and they are not streamlined right now. See, this is how
you have to share the other screen where the form has opened up. Right now, we are still at the form itself.
Okay, yeah.
So on the top, you'll see that.
On the top, I have to go back to the meeting first to share another screen. Yes. Present something else. So this is the one. Yeah. So I hope everyone can see this. Yes.
No, it's still not being shared.
Still not shared.
It's still not shared. Okay, let me go back to this and then.
On the top, it should be giving you an option. Share.
Yes, now it is shared. Yes. I hope it is visible now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's visible. Yes. So can you see how this is giving the option of the checked boxes, which I told you, vegetarian and non-veg items, which is there for the party. And then I had added this, identify the organization. I was asking the questions. Then the section, choose your class. So you have the drop-down menu for this. Although I didn't give any question for this. And the name of the participant. And this one indicates required questions. So whatever question will be required, which is mandatory for the child to answer, there will be an asterisk in front of that. So you cannot move to the final thing if you have not mentioned this. This is a required question. It will come to them like this. Then the feedback. So this is a linear scale. This is how it is coming, where 1 is very bad and 5 is excellent. Now let's get back to the main thing again. I'll reshare my screen. And I'll go back to my demo form. I hope it is visible now. The demo form is visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, on top of this, you can see responses. Over here, since we don't have any responses right now, we are accepting the responses over here. Again, the radio button is there. So if you slide it to the left, So when we are floating this Google form in our classrooms, or we are floating it in our workshops, so we have to, at a certain point, we have to stop the responses also after a particular period of time. So this is the button that you use for stopping the responses. So you slide it towards the left, it will not be accepting the responses. Right now I want the responses, so I'm sliding it towards the right hand side. But I hope everyone can see this responses. So once I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
It is. It is.
Okay, so once I click on link to sheets, I've clicked on this. So it is asking me the option whether I create a new spreadsheet or I have to select the existing spreadsheet. So it's my choice. I can do that, and I sort of if I go on this, it is asking me to create a new spreadsheet, and I create this. So it will be creating a new Google Sheet for this. Let's say it has created this one. I had this form, and for this new this new Google Sheet is created. Can everyone see the Google Sheet that is created? When I clicked on create, is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So let's get back to the wait. This. And now I'll present you back the form, the demo form, which I was showing. Yes. So let's get back to the demo form. Okay. So I click cancel on this, and then I go to the settings. Now, if I click this button, make this a quiz, then what would happen is it can ask me when, like I told you that we are using it for our formative assessments also. When I create a quiz, I'll show you how I have created the quiz. So when I create a quiz, it asks me the two options, whether I have to release the marks immediately after each submission, or I have to later on, do it manually. So I always prefer releasing the marks because everyone is eager to know how much they have scored. So I always click on this option, that is immediately after each submission. And then they tells which questions have been missed by the students, which are the correct answers, the point values, everything they get in detail. When I make a quiz, all these options, they come to me. And their responses are collected, and it also goes to them. So all these are the settings I'll tell you how we do when we present a quiz.
Geetika ma'am, we are still able to see your response sheet. Can you switch the tab, please?
Yeah, let me just again. Okay. Present something else. Is it visible now? No, it is not visible. Let me stop sharing and then share it again. Yes. Let me show you my entire screen only, because with this I'm not able to do this. Okay, and then I show you. I hope my entire screen is visible right now. And I'm going to this account, and over here the demo form. Yeah, now is it visible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we are going to the settings. Over here we have the settings, and I was showing you that if I make this into a quiz, then these are the options which are visible. So when we make a quiz that is for our formative assessment, what we do is we have the options whether we want to release the marks immediately after each submission. I prefer doing this because I want them to see what they have done. You have the option, you can do it later on also. So two options which are there, they have been given. Then the respondent settings are there. They come to know whether they have missed any question or they have answered any particular question incorrectly. Then for the correct answers also, they come to know when the grades are released. Then the point values which are there. And we also have the default question point value. How much are they actually scoring? The responses are there, how we are collecting it and how we are managing it. And the one of the copy also goes to them. So let's see if I don't want to make this a quiz. That was not a quiz which we had created. And this is how the setting goes. If it is not a quiz, then these are the settings. So we go to the responses. In the responses, collect email addresses. If you can see, I am pointing my cursor towards this. That is collect email addresses. We always click on verified. We always click on verified. This is the option which we should use always. Send responders a copy of their response. Yes, I always prefer doing that, because then they have a copy. They know when they have answered wrong. And if you are making an entry for any kind of an event, there's always a confusion. They always come back to us and they say that I had made my entry in the Western dance or in the traditional dance, or we had done this. So we can always refer back to these forms and we can tell them that this is the entry which you had made. And this is especially also very, very useful when you are sending the forms to the parents, so that they know what response they have given and you also have a copy of it. Allow response editing? No, we don't want that. Otherwise, they will keep editing it. So we keep the radio button on the left-hand side in the setting. Limit to one response is again very, very important. One person should be able to give the response per ID only once. Otherwise, there will be multiple responses and we will not be able to categorize our data in a proper, or organize our data in a proper way. Then let's go to the presentation part. Over here, they want whether you want to show the progress bar, you want to shuffle the question order. Now, the shuffling of question order is very, very important when you are making a formative assessment for the students, so that each and every child does not get the same questions in the same order. So when I shuffle my questions, each child will get it in a different order. So again, in this case, they cannot do any kind of a cheating. So shuffling of the question order is very important when you are making your formative assessment. Confirmation message. By default, the confirmation messages that your response has been recorded. You can always edit it also. If you want to send some personal message, or you want to, type thanks to the audience. So in that case also you can do that. Otherwise, you can go on with the customized message, which is already the default message, which is already there. Show link to submit another response. No, they should not show link. They should always have one, per email ID. They should be able to do it only once. This also should not be there. Then view the result summary. These are something which are related to you. The respondents don't need to see the result summary. They just should get their answers. That's it. Then the restrictions. Disable autosave for all the respondents, or we can allow this. The respondents will lose their progress if their browser closes or refreshes. This is again, it is as per your requirement, you can do that. Now, whenever we are creating the forms, they are specific to our domains. They are specific to our educational institute domain. So no outsider can fill up those forms, because those forms are sensitive. We are collecting the data. We are collecting data from the parents. We are collecting the data from our students. So all that data needs to be protected, and we are creating those forms within our educational domain. Then again, we have the default settings which are there. Collect emails by default. Yes, we should always again verify it. Question defaults. Mark questions default required by default. Yes, we should always. Yes. So these are the settings which you can do as per your requirements. And then you click on this send. And when you do the send, now it is asking you, how do you want to send this form? Either you can send it via email to each and every participant. You send them the mail, or you can click on this link, or you can embed it. And then you give the message, I have invited you to fill out a form, include the form in email. So automatically this form will go, and you have to put your email address over here. So this is what we do. And then we go to the three dots. If you already have a form.
Ma'am, we are at 6:51 now.
Okay. So when you click on these three dots, you have an option of making a copy, move to the trash, or we can have the pre-fill link, add collaborators, like I have the option of adding Gurpreet ma'am, and get add-ons also. many add-on features are also there, which we can use for the forms. So let's get back to the, I'll stop sharing the screen now.
Yeah, let's quickly, I am sharing the screen, Gitika ma'am.
Yes.
You can quickly tell them about the new form as well. I'm showing two forms, one which is already published, how
Okay.
it will look, and then we'll also show them a new form.
Okay.
So this is already published form, and you can see on the top, it shows that it has already got 2145 responses, and it says published, right? When I click on published, it tells me that right now it's not accepting responses. If I want to publish again, that means I want to start accepting responses again, I can do that as well. Okay, so it's totally under your control. If they're already a form that you have used previously, it's not that you cannot use the same form again. You can you can have a separate sheet where you store the new responses, or you can do it in the same sheet as well. So that's something very important that you all should know. And also, if you see here, to add collaborators, we can add anybody out here. I can add Geetika ma'am, and I can give her the edited rights, right? I can say if she's a responder or an editor, I can do that as well. Okay, so that's how we can use this, or we can directly share the link as well. Okay, anyone with the link, and I can say copy responder link, and I can send that link to the people who want to fill out. Similarly, I will quickly show you another form that I've just created. Nothing there on that because I just created it, but it should be visible to you now. So since this is not published, I can see the publish button here, and I can go on to publish and say, okay, how do I want to publish this? Do I want to manage it with the link, or do I want to put IDs of people that I want to share it with? How do I want to do that? Is totally up to me, right? So that's the quickly I wanted to show, which was not available in Geetika ma'am's screen, right? And you can also use add-ons, something again that you will learn in your level 2. I hope you are excited about that. And I put a message in the chat window. Let's say you want to explore how you can create a form with Gemini. That feature is also now available to all pro users. Please feel free to play around with that as well. Great. That's all.
Now, I want to show the questions now. For
Yes,
the
please go ahead. Please go ahead. So time for a quick check as to how much you have been listening, and also a quick skill check whether we are covering everything and whatever we have talked about. Wonderful. We have the first question up. Over to you, Geetika ma'am.
Yes. Mr. Bentley finds it easy to use Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides in his classroom as they are very familiar to other programs he's used in the past. He overheard his colleague, Ms. Barnard, talk about Google Forms as well, but isn't sure how relevant it is in a school environment. Which of the following are relevant uses for Google Forms in education? So they're asking for the relevant uses. Now in this, you have to choose the multiple answers.
B, C, D is what they are saying.
Okay, any more options?
No, most of them are saying B, C, D. Somebody also said F, but I think it was by mistake. I'm sure everyone knows this is not for presentation.
Okay, fine. So I'm
and they've got the
showing
answer.
you the answers. Yes.
Yes, they've got the answer right. Clapping for everyone.
Yes, the buntings. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Throughout the academic year, Mrs. Michael has her students create many projects and would like to track the progress of her students. She creates a Google Sheet that contains her students' name with each assignment date, score, and standard address. The columns are name, assignment, date, score, and standard. What tool can Mrs. Michael use to add data to her Google Sheet more easily? Is it Google Doc,
Everyone
Google
knows this.
Docs, Google
Everyone
Forms?
knows this.
Yes,
And they have got the right answer, which is C.
Google
Yay!
Forms. Okay, now the third one. Google Forms are most helpful in what kind of tasks? Select all that apply. Drafting responses, classroom quick checks, measure student progress over time, communicating to large group of educators.
And of course,
Select all that apply. The multiple choices.
right?
What all are the replies which are coming?
People are saying BCD,
Mhm.
and somebody is also saying ADC, but I think the correct answer, come on, educators,
It is B and C.
BNC.
Classroom quick checks and
We
measure
do
student
not
progress
use
over
forms to
time.
draft mails, right? And we
Okay.
do not use it to communicate to large group of educators. That should be your docs, right? Let's move forward.
Yes. You have been asking students to watch short videos for homework instead of reading the textbook. Flip learning is there. Students seem to be prepared for class, but you are wondering how many of your students are actually watching the videos. Oh, we can show them this feature, how to add a video in a Google form. Yeah, we can do that. Which one of the sharing options below might help you to best gauge the compliance of your class by allowing you to include some comprehension questions? Share the link via email
Someone's
and
got
get
it
the
right.
video.
B, yay!
Yes, what is the answer?
B. Everyone has got it right.
Great, yes. So everybody knows how to embed the video in a Google form.
I'm sure they are rocking awesome educators
Yes.
here.
So
They're
what
saying
are good uses of Google Forms in the classroom? Quizzes, gather research data, draft an essay or survey. Select all that applies. What is the answer coming?
PD, very correct. So they've
Yes.
all been listening
A, B, D, yes.
very attentively, and they're already pros at this tool. This is
Yeah.
what they are telling us.
So they'll rock it at L1. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I'm
Yes.
sure they're going to rock it.
Okay. So the sixth question is, why would you want to have people fill out a Google form rather than simply sharing a Google Doc with them to collect their responses? Again, select all that applies. Why a Google form? Why not a doc? So exclusive features of Google Forms are being asked here.
Okay.
Let's see what is the answer coming out.
A, B, and D,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
which is, of course, the right.
Yes, these are the right answers. Yes. Then we have the next one. Drag and drop types. Okay, these are my favorite. I love them.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman is using Google Slide to introduce a new class project. He wants to embed and link to docs, forms, and drawings in order to make his slides more interactive. Use drag and drop to match it. So we have a Google application on one side and its usage is there. So you have to drag and drop it. Let's see who can tell me what exactly it is
So
going to be.
educators, just for your knowledge, this is of course right now not a drag and drop interface that we can show you directly here.
Yes.
In the exam, you will actually have to drag and put it in the right column. Okay, so please be mindful of these questions.
Yes. And there'll be
They're
extra
not
options also given.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see what they are writing for one, patching with what, and second with what, and third with what options.
1B,
1B.
2B,
Okay.
but please be mindful there can be multiple uses also.
Let me show the answer now.
Yes.
Ha ha ha. Yes, multiple answers are there for Google Docs. It is suggesting the notepad also that we will show you, an additional reference material. Google Drawings are for the graphic designs, yes, and Google Forms for gauging the understanding. You can make awesome organizers, awesome graphic organizers using Google Drawings.
Yeah. So thank you very much, every one of you.